people. I'm your boy, Sir the Soul Man, coming to you live in my studio. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving day. I did. That's Miss, the one and only, Anita Baker in the background, but I got to call up because you know Facebook don't allow me to continue to play the music. So we're going to have to cut her off for just a minute. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about toxic relationships and mothers. I was trying to go to bed. It's been a long day. It's Thanksgiving. A lot's going on. Well, it was a good day. Not a lot's going on. It's been a very good day. But I just was about to go rest. And I ran across this clip. And I wanted to check it out. Of course, my camera's acting up. I don't know why this one is acting up. But we'll have to load it up later on. But I was watching this clip. And it was a little bit surprising to me, because it talks about a reality that we take for granted. We just assume that, you know, all mothers are great and everybody's having a good time, and that's not necessarily the case. So, let's listen to a few clips, if you don't mind.
Oh, let go of my phone! Oh, so you just...
Find your phone.
Hey, Siri!
Find your phone.
Daniel, can you please...
Find your phone. I don't have your
So
phone.
you just broke my phone?
What?
Hey, Siri!
Find your phone.
Dan, I just heard my phone.
Find your phone.
Dan, I just heard my phone in here.
I don't have it. Move.
I need to see my phone.
Don't touch my stuff.
I need to see where my phone is at.
For my safety.
Hey, Siri! So you just broke my phone.
For my safety.
So you just broke my
Cap.
phone.
Yeah, you better try cap. I got all that.
Your grandma and your daddy.
I don't have a record.
You ain't shit.
I don't have a record.
Where's your daddy?
You steady trying to get me to go to jail, boo.
And you still daddy?
You steady trying to get me to go to jail.
Why's your daddy texting me this?
You steady trying to get me to go to jail, boo.
No. I'm
Talk about you better write something.
I'm your mama and this your daddy.
Are you? No, you're not. Stop saying that, please. I don't like you.
That's okay.
Ooh,
And
wow.
y'all see that? You wonder why her ass could be out with two niggas like a bum nigga, like a funny girl. Yes, what?
I'm just
Girl,
waiting
you
for
run
somebody
like business with everybody else out of state.
I'm just waiting for somebody to try to flash and act like
That's
they
okay,
have
girl. I ain't got to do that.
I'm amazed how some mothers and daughters conversations happen. You know, when the daughter is a little girl, they seem to be perfect. They get along great. But sometimes when those same mother and daughters grow up, those mothers, for some reason, have a hard time accepting the fact that their daughters are not little girls anymore. And so those mothers and those daughters don't necessarily see eye to eye. I saw this clip and I was very taken by it, because I have two sets of daughters that don't have the best relationship with their mother, and it's unfortunate because you don't want that for your children. You definitely don't want it for your daughters, but you know, sometimes in life things just don't go as planned. Sometimes things happen and it's not a perfect situation. So when I saw this clip, I had to sit down and watch it, and I was really blown away by some of the language. This one blew me away the most. If you look at how this mother's looking at this daughter, it's unbelievable.
Are you gonna hit me with
Let me go back. I want you guys to see this.
Hey! She don't even care about being on.
Look at that look. Look how she looking at her. Like she hate her guts.
Are you gonna hit me with something?
What the fuck hit you for, Samaya? I don't got no beef with you. Your beef is with me.
Wow.
I didn't even talk to you. What are you talking about?
I called you to make sure that you had a ride to work. I don't have to give a damn about you getting to work, Samaya.
No, you didn't. You told me that I had to pay you to get to work.
I said, do you have some money? Because I don't have none. And then I said, Bug, I got $10
thing is, when doesn't a mother has to speak to her adult daughter in that tone? I don't think any way you can justify that, because now the daughter is an adult and you ought to be able to communicate with her in a reasonable manner without having to raise your voice. And I saw this and it just left me unnerved, because I think about the situation that my own daughters may be in. Well, I know maybe are in. And it's very disturbing to think that a mother would be that way with her daughter. Here's another clip. After I saw this one, this other girl was talking about her relationship with her mother. And
all of that show, Tia. Welcome, my Islanders family. Welcome back to the channel. I know I am missing from your screen today, but no worries. The next video you'll be...
Okay, we're not going to talk about the narrator. Let's get into
right? So I'm just like, I'm getting her to Powerade, but I'm also like, yeah, let's revise the tone, right? Let's just revise the tone, right? So I get her to Powerade, and I get her the cup of ice, right? I get her a cup in a glass. I put the glass down. I said a plastic cup of ice. She didn't say a plastic cup of ice.
It's not funny.
She didn't say a plastic cup of ice. So
it's
now,
not, but
you already talking to me like I'm not even a person, let alone your daughter. And now you sitting here trying to get into it with me about the type of cup you got. I grabbed that cup. I grabbed that glass. I went ahead and threw all that. I threw that ice in that sink. Put that glass down and went to sit on the couch.
Now, the problem that exists is sometimes the mothers cannot see their daughters as women. They still see them as little girls, and they think they still have the privilege of telling them what to do. But you see, when my children became adults, I'm still their father. I still love them. But I don't have the right to tell them anything. I ask my children. I make suggestions. Even for my grandchildren, once they become adults, I can only ask you. I can make suggestions, but it's still up to them what they decide they want to do. I have absolutely no reason under the sun to raise my voice at my adult children or my adult grandchildren, because they are adults. And as parents, you must understand that no parent has the right to raise their voice to their adult child, son or daughter, because they are adults. And once we become adults, we should be able to communicate in a manner that is conducive for everybody involved. It doesn't matter what has happened as when you were a little girl. I know it's hard for some of you women, and I know it is hard for some of you women, because that's your mom, you love her, and you just don't want to see her in a negative light. But sometimes you don't see the real mom until you become an adult or a mother yourself. And you begin to realize your mama got a problem, or your mama had a problem. And you need to come to terms with that and be careful that that problem don't become your problem. Now, the Bible recognizes something called generational curses. And if we're not aware of the fact that there are generational curses, then guess what? You'll find yourself easily having a very toxic relationship with your own mother, because you got to be very, very careful. Now, I saw this one. I didn't get to see what, because I didn't listen to the dialogue. But obviously, there's a problem with these parents and their adult daughter.
Because it keeps them in a position of power. And if you guys let me know, because we got...
Okay, we want to hear the dialogue.
He got to get the out.
Why? What's going on?
He don't want to do what the is I tell him to do. He's fine. Is he hurt? He's well fed. He's not malnourished.
Baseball bat. Okay, so we're gonna talk to you
And
there.
is
And I want to
he
investigate what's going on.
You're real disrespectful, so I'm going to go to jail. So I called. So that way, I'm going to protect myself and I'm going to protect him. Because if not, I'm going to have a real cute mugshot. You understand?
So the fact that she used that term, he has to get the F out of her house, that's her own son she's talking about. And you have to ask yourself, well, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but when does a parent have to speak that way about their own child? But this is something that is not a foreign thing. It happens quite often. Children become adults, and that mother or that father that had a problem when that child was a child and didn't know that mom or dad had a problem, they grow up and they see, something is rotten in Denmark. Something is not adding up, because an adult should not act this way. A parent should not have this kind of interaction with their own child. This is not love. And so we see this so common in more times than you realize. Well,
1987 to 2025. Tied.
We don't want to go 1987. You know, guys, I always hit the wrong thing, but I'm getting better at this. The most amazing thing to me is that
my husband had been struggling.
I was surprised when I sit and watch this, because I didn't realize.
You see what I'm saying? I bore him, and it's like I pushed his 8 pounds and 14 ass out of my. I'm saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
Have I threatened you with bodily harm? You have no reason to
I
follow
came here
me.
and you had a bat in your hand.
And that's for my son in my house.
Don't put your fingers on my face.
Thank
I'm gonna arrest you for obstructing right now if you don't step
What
out.
you not finna do?
You got 5
What
seconds.
you're not going to do, excuse me, and when you get finished, and when you get done.
Oh, my devil.
The fact that she can't get along with the police that she called herself, that means mama probably got a problem, okay? She's got a little problem, and she's having some problem with her son, and part of the problem that she's having with her son is many times is that those sons grow up without the father, and then by the time they're 15 years old, and why is 15 such a crucial age? 15 is very crucial because even though our government says you're an adult at 18, your body physiologically and physically, mentally, emotionally, you are maturing and you're not a kid anymore. Your body has already prepared itself for an adult to be a parent yourself. And so it's kind of difficult once that mother has raised that son and now he's a man, a young man, but he's still a man. And if he has not had a father in his life, it's going to be a problem. Now, here's one. I think they put out the daughter. Let's see.
I am a devil. So why do you have to be here if I'm a devil? No, but they're stolen it.
You're in front of
Let's
us.
put the stuff there. She
You're
don't
in front
want.
of
She don't
us.
want it to move from
You're
here.
in front
I'm
of us.
moving from here to
That's
so
all
she
I
can
just
take
want to
it
do. I
down.
know exactly how it went down.
What?
When do a
So
parent
sad.
has to
Yeah,
argue
Until they leave.
with their adult child?
Everything will be okay.
Should never have to be.
Remember when you said that last time?
I ain't say nothing to y'all. Y'all can't say nothing to me.
I wouldn't want to be around his parents. You don't want to let you put your hands on
She did it for long. That's what she just told.
So, after I watched it, they seem to have put her out. And one of the things that was mentioned in the caption is that they have raised their daughter to depend on them. And since she's not doing what they want her to do, maybe she don't want to go to the college they want her to go to, so they're going to put her out and put all her stuff on the driveway. And so she has to figure out life out by herself.
They knew we just got a job. That's what I'm saying. I have to record everything. You know what? They present themselves like they're the best parents in the world. Best parents. And I'm going to make sure people going to know what type of parents we had to deal with. 4 years through college without them. I made it through. And it's always college in the discussion with them. They surprised I got this far. You know why? They thought I was going to need their help. I'm so glad I got everything on record.
You want to learn? Ah, okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, Mom.
Fuck you,
Like,
man,
why
it's
this?
live.
Like, what? This not live. This the camera. This could be a viral moment.
Now, she's washing dishes. The young daughter is washing dishes, and the mother is in the background steady fussing with her, whatever the discussion is about. But the daughter has obviously turned on her phone so that everyone can hear the conversation that she's having with her mother that seems to be very, very, very toxic.
I
On
don't
TikTok or
care.
something.
I don't care.
This is stuff people be liking to see.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
I agree. You need to fucking go. Disrespectful as shit. Ain't gonna just keep fucking going. Just keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
There is absolutely no reason in the world for a mother to be speaking that way to her adult daughter or son. Because somewhere along the way, this doesn't happen just overnight. That toxic relation had to exist when they were a little child. And now that they have become an adult, that mother have not adjusted to the fact that that child is no longer a child, that she's an adult herself, and sometimes even a mother herself. But the mother hasn't adjusted. She's still having a little bit problem. They're still having a little bit difficulty with not being able to control or tell their daughter what to do. And so it creates a little toxic situation. And I think it's more worse for mothers and daughters because mothers, you expect them to be close with their daughters. And when you run across a situation where the mother is not close to the daughter, we know that it's possibly not the daughter's fault.
My mother threw a lot of tantrums throughout my childhood, which led to me cutting her off when I was 17 years old. Now, one of the most memorable tantrums that she threw was when I was 15 years old and I worked at this local pizzeria in my town. It was a Sunday, so it was a school night, and I worked from 10 to 10, so I worked about 12 hours. At the end of my shift, my mother called me and she was like, "Hey, Katya, can you buy wings so that your little sister can have something to eat later?" I was like, "Sure. Just so you know, the wings are pre-seasoned and they might be a little spicy for her." My mother was like, "Just make sure it's not spicy." And no matter what I said, she just said, "Make sure they're not spicy," but I didn't have any control over the spice since they were pre-seasoned before bought. And whatever, brought them home, gave them to my sister, and I went into my room. 5 minutes later, my mom is screaming and bursts into my room and she's like, "You fucking bitch, you did that on purpose. You didn't want your sister to eat. I told you that they shouldn't be spicy. Your sister can't even eat them, they're too spicy." And I was like, "Mom, they're pre-seasoned." And she just didn't get that. Or she just...
So, she couldn't win. And I listened to this testimony. It was very amazing because she said for 2 hours. Now, she had to go to school the next day. But 2 hours, her mother screamed at her about some chicken that she could not control how much season is on it because the store buys them ahead of time and they're already pre-seasoned. So, of course, when her father comes home, he could not believe that this woman, her mother, had been hollering and screaming at his daughter for 2 hours straight about some pre-seasoned chicken. I'm going to tell you, it's very important that there are fathers in the household because I'm going to tell you, he will have to be the buffer between some of the mothers and daughters because that toxicity, I'm telling you, he's only one going to be able to understand because there's nothing the daughter will be able to say to get the mother to see that she's wrong. Oh, blind as a bat. They couldn't see a thing. So this was a very, very good testimony. And she said she cut her mother off because it was just too much. Here's another one I thought was very interesting.
Mother, you have to forgive her no matter what. But at what point do you start making excuses for your toxic behavior just because it's coming from a parent? You guys let me know. There comes a time when protecting your peace has to come before preserving a relationship that constantly drains you. And that is exactly why so many people, especially daughters, are choosing to go no contact with their parents. Now, let's get into this greater story as to why she went no contact with her mother and at the see if her reasons were really justified. Of course, guys, keep the comment section buzzing. This is a conversation that needs to be had. Remember to like the video if you haven't already done so. Without further ado, let's keep watching.
I had to cut off my narcissistic mom. Yep. The breaking point was literally the hurricane that just happened in Houston. To give y'all context, I live 20 minutes away from her. I live in the inner city of Houston, and she lives a little bit closer to Katy, which is about 20-30 minute drive, whatever, cool. The day the hurricane came, I didn't have power or water. She didn't have power or water. I literally, mind you, I also own a beauty supply store, okay? One last factor I really need to put in there, my mom is a Pentecostal, okay? She has so many supplies like the world's about to end. Like, if you go into her house, she has 8 cases of 40 packs of water, battery-operated fans, this, and that. If there was an apocalypse, you would think she would be ready, okay? She's a 6-year-old woman. Also, she's disabled. She's disabled, okay? Her knees are bone to bone, but she actively picks and chooses when she's as disabled as she claims. Like, some days she don't need nobody, and then other days she's like, oh, you just don't care about me. Okay, cool. So I finally get service like around 12 p.m. and call my mom. It's like, are you okay? Yada, yada, yada. Whoop. She's like, girl, yeah, I'm okay. I just don't got power or water. And I was like, oh yeah, me too, whatever. She's like, yeah, just call me, like, just like emergency calls, like save our battery and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, bet. And then we hung up the phone. So I was like, check my mom's fine, right? My next thing I needed to check on was my store. Mind you, my store was damaged. It's handled now, but like roof caved in, all that in the 9 yards. That same night, I ended up staying like an hour at my friend's Airbnb because she had like walked.
Okay, let's go up a little further because this obviously the good part.
This is very normal behavior for me, so I just hung up. Groceries. She calls me. She's just like, Jessica, what did I do so wrong to you that you don't want to check up on your mother and make sure that she's fine and she's okay? And basically, I broke it down to her the same way I'm breaking it down to you guys. Like, hey, like, I called you here. You said you were fine, like this. And then I also added on the fact that, like, I was dealing with the store. She said, I don't give an F about your store. We're talking about life or death here. Girl, you just said you were fine.
Yeah. She just said she was fine, and then she wanted to make the daughter feel guilty because the daughter's not doing enough of what she wanted to do. You know, your daughters have to be careful when their mothers try to make you feel guilty because I'm telling you, can't fall for that mother guilt. We got one more, and I want to go ahead and get ready to close out because I find it so amazing that we're living in a society today where there's so much that is going on that you would hope that mothers and daughters would get along better, but that's not the case.
Have decided to not be a part of my life and not give a shit about me because let me tell you a little story about how I've paid almost $600 now for this key. When I have parents functioning, I don't want to say normal because they're not normal, but like parents, family that live 20 minutes from me. So if you've been keeping up with my like Colorado, Halifax back and forth journey,
we're not keeping up with her. Her parents live 20 minutes away. She lost her key and she had to find another way to get a key, but she couldn't depend on her parents to pick her up or to just couldn't call her parents, which were 20 minutes away. She wound up spending $600 and a friend driving, I think, quite a few miles to help her get a key for her car or apartment, whatever it was. And I thought to myself, if you happened to be traveling and you actually go into a town where you know your parents live, you would think you would be able to go to your parents' house to visit, pop in. Do you have to call ahead of time? You shouldn't ever have to call ahead of time. I mean, that's your parents. But I guess everybody don't have the best relationship with their parents because we just assume that they do. Here's another one I thought was very, very interesting. Yeah, this one was, when you're dealing with the sisters, it's always interesting.
They stop training. I don't care what nobody say. A daughter just don't grow up hating her mama.
Listen.
She don't. She actually look up to her mama. She look up to her mama. She is inspired by her mama. And then the mama be the one that starts showing all that negativity, that hate. Yeah, them true colors start coming out the older that little girl get. She get older. And then she finally get old enough to see her mama for who she truly is. And that's when everything turns. That's when the girl just
stuff
okay, I don't even want to deal with my mama no more. Don't nobody just cut their mama off for no reason.
Nope.
It don't work like that. Like, we want this woman to be this woman is literally the only woman figure in our life. Like, I want this woman to be everything that I need. I love this lady. I love her so much. Like, this is my mother. This is the person that gave birth to me. This is the person that brought me into this world. Like, I love this lady. And you grow up, and then the mama don't know how to talk to you. The mama don't know how to take accountability. The mama don't know how to say she's sorry and change her behavior. She's stuck in her ways. A child ain't stuck in their ways. A child is malleable.
Yeah.
So how can a child just grow up and just instantly hate her mama like that? Instantly just cut her mama off for no reason? And y'all, like, make it make sense, please. Just please make it make sense.
And she said the part about a child is malleable. You're naturally going to love your parents. It kind of brings tears to my eyes because I think about the time when my middle daughter from my second marriage called me. Hadn't talked to him in like 4 years. I was out of town at the time when she called me, and she was very, very upset. She was by a friend, and she was trying to get to me. And I found out in that conversation that this woman that I used to be married to had kept my daughter from him and threatened him and told him, "You bet not get in touch with your daddy." How can you tell a daughter they bet not get in touch with their daddy? And she told me that. And I said to myself, this system has painted this pictures that fathers are so bad, but there are fathers that have to literally protect their daughters from their toxic mother. And those fathers know who they are, and those toxic mothers know who they are, and those daughters know who their toxic mothers are. And I tell you, I was about to go rest and lay down when this came across my feed. And I tell y'all, I don't plan what I do on my live broadcast. I never do. Never. Something will come across my feed, and I know it's for me to talk about it. And so when this subject of toxic mothers came across, of course it hit home with me because I've dealt with it. I've dealt with it. With both of my set of daughters, I've dealt with it. And my hope and prayer is that just, Lord, have mercy, that the situation change. And my first set of daughters are older, of course, and I just hope they have a better relationship as they get older, and that having daughters themselves, that they have a better relationship with their daughters, and that history doesn't repeat itself. As parents, we all make mistakes. It don't matter who you are, mothers and fathers, we make mistakes, but we have to strive to doing better and trying to be a better parent, because you don't get to do it over. You just don't get to do it over. It's very, very important that you try to get it right the first time. Because if you don't get it right the first time, there's no second chance. There's no do-over. I'm sorry. You might think there is, but children grow up with bitterness, hatred, unforgiveness in their heart because of experiences that they've felt as children growing up. And with a toxic mother, it's hard because that's supposed to be almost like Jesus to you. She's supposed to be your everything. And when you have a mother that's not your everything, it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking for a daughter. And a lot of times, if it's a marriage involved and there's a man in that household, he can see that his wife has a problem. And he know he can only do so much, but he will definitely know that mama has a problem. So, to all the young ladies that are now adult women that may have had to suffer at the hands of a toxic mother, I pray God gives you strength. I pray that God helps you to forgive that mother. I pray that God help you to be an adult, a better person, and more importantly, a better mother to your own sons and daughters, because the curse doesn't have to continue. No, you can make a difference, so be the one to make the difference. I'm your boy, Sir the Soul Man. I'll see you next time. This is Miss Anita Baker in the background, one of my favorite songs. You know what? I believe in love. I believe that there's love that can exist between a mother and a daughter. So, reach for that love. I'm Sir the Soul Man. I'll see you next time. I will see you next time. See you next time.
I just watched a video that said, once a child has become an adult, parents no longer get to be the parent that they want to be to their child, that they must be the parent that their child wants them to be. So let's talk about it. Most children are born in no contact with their parents today, or the simple fact that a lot of parents to gaslight their children into forgetting about how they were treated as a child. The podcast I just watched just said what was a regular Tuesday for you ended up being a day that I can never forget as a young adult, and it's the same day that I gotta go to a therapist and speak about just to heal from. So what wasn't big to you because that was normal in your parenting routine became a trauma for me that I have to heal from as well. So simply put in my words, in today's time, the relationship has gone no contact. It's just a climax to a story of a narrative.
See you next time, people.
Created. Because again, remember, for some children, you were never allowed to speak up and to hold adults accountable for the things that they did wrong.
Yeah.
Because that was deemed disrespectful. So you grew up to navigate through life being walked over, being mistreated, and being abused. Because those are the same patterns and the same things that were happening to you as a child. Just by people who had no accountability.
Wow.
Let me know what y'all think.
I completely agree with what this creator said, because this is something that is not talked about enough. The fact that
No, it's not talked about. So I'll see you guys next time. Be blessed. Know that Jesus loves you. He's coming back, y'all. He's coming back. No matter what nobody say, he's coming back. See you next time. I'm your boy, Sir the Soul Man. See you next time. See you next time.